So when we talked about analytics, let's first start out from data warehouse. So data warehouse is a tool. It's a tool that can be used in a lot of ways, but it's a relatively simple tool to build some really impressive things. So this is the house of BigQuery co-founder Jordan Tigani in Seattle, and you can actually build this house with very simple tools, as I had just described to you, right? But what if you want to build a skyscraper? You will need totally different tool sets. So what makes the difference is its scale, is the technology. So the data warehouse is in a similar scenario. So a traditional data warehouse is a relatively simple tool. It's been around for like 30, 40 years in pretty much the same format. How many people here have you stored their data? If you can raise your hand through the webinar or through the Meet session, if you like. Silence? All right, no problem. So if you're coming from a traditional on-premise data warehouse or even another cloud, you may be familiar with some of those challenges I listed here. When I talk to the customers, these are very top of mind. They can't really keep up with the data growth, and they don't really have the scalability within their current system. They are spending a tons of time just maintaining it with teams of people. Also, they have experienced license renewals considerations, so it's very costly, and any upgrades require downtime. So in fact, some customers that I have talked to are no longer using their data warehouse as a data warehouse and have transitioned to using it purely as consumption layer. They offload their data to other areas such as Hadoop, so they can provide the type of analysis required from their business. And this is because their warehouse is no longer suited to fit their needs. As I mentioned before, like the scalability is one of the concerns. So listed here are some of the highlights that I had just mentioned seconds ago. And so how many of you, and I know that I probably won't be able to because this is not really face-to-face session, but I just wanted to draw your attention to think about like how many of us have a data warehouse that is not BigQuery, and how many of you run either Hadoop or Spark or Impala or something like that, right? So like traditional data warehouse, as I mentioned before, in the past couple of years, no longer fit the requirement or the need of the business. So some people have thought about the big data. Some people implemented or built their Hadoop environment using Spark and Impala. And so the traditional data warehouse is just clearly not missing something, and that's why people are thinking of big data solution. And then how many of you run some sort of like Kafka or streaming analytics? And how many of those are integrated with your data warehouse? So, not too many. And thinking of there are some more tools that people started to try to implement it into their system just to supplement their traditional data warehouse. And they will have to spend time to think about how to integrate them. And so you're kind of like left in this limbo mode, really busy to maintain many different systems, whether or not that's requires license or from open source. So this is also kind of the way that we think or we see data warehousing at Google. It starts with the data warehouse. Actually, one of the guys from a big retailers in US once said that 99% of all the traditional data warehousing stuff is still relevant. So I'm not going to try to say that these old traditional data warehousing isn't relevant. It is, but you know that there's something more that people want, as we had just gone through.